Good morning, Bridge Nation. It's the 11th day in the month of May 2022. We say good morning to you and welcome to Up and Go. My name is Richie B.
Miss Queen JoJo, good morning.
Yes, and DJ Ordis in the building.
All right, everybody got water flowing back in your pipes? Got a scare yesterday, man, and I got a call saying, hey, the water just left. Wow. And I got home, and half an hour thereafter, water returned. So thank you very much, NWC.
Yes, awesome.
You know what's funny about this though? I will say it's good to live in Kingston 6 because when I left here, I went home.
There was water.
Mama tell you water they there.
It never left.
It not a bit tight.
Well, I got like companies, small businesses had to close early because they didn't have water. So it really
Staff
did affect.
had to go home, yeah.
Yeah, man.
I guess reason for me having water is a hospital, National Chest,
Which is not too far, yeah.
Not too far. Right. Look at you.
Yeah, any place for rent up there? In that vicinity?
I'll check it for you.
Go sit the money.
Yeah, I tell you. All right, so we'll welcome you. We go until 10 o'clock this morning. Today being a Wednesday at 10 o'clock, Tony Rebel steps in with Rasperience. So we're going to take care of you, get you up to get you fed, get you dressed and out to work or school or play. Let's get it started right now. Let's go on now to our feature.
That's WTF.
What the fact?
Yeah. Well, I didn't think my ex-girlfriend them salt, but I'm ready to take the cake. Now, there's a gentleman by the name of William McKinley, and he was shot right after giving away his good luck charm. Yeah, man. So apparently President McKinley always wore a red carnation for good luck, but sometimes, he'd give it away as a memento. Now, when greeting the crowd in 1901, he handed a 12-year-old girl, Myrtle, the bloom of his lapel, saying, "I must give this flower to another little flower." Well, minutes later, he was fatally shot by a man in the crowd. Sound cool, but
It's a fact.
it's a fact.
Yeah.
Yes, man just doing a good deed.
That's a gross error on his part.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, I don't know.
He's trying to be kind and be nice.
Is
I
he
guess.
giving out? What am I give away him luck?
Yeah, go ahead.
Him say something.
Did he give away his life? He was shot. I'm trying to see whether or not he was mortally wounded. Wow.
Yeah, he was shot.
Yeah.
Fatally shot.
Man, oh man. What's
Minutes later.
What's the moral of that story? You got a good luck charm? Keep it.
Yeah.
Don't give it away.
Yeah.
Find something else to give away, but not a good luck charm. Because you could end up shot. Oh gosh, it's on the way though. Yeah, I really feel sorry for him still.
Or maybe it was just unfortunate. I mean, it's weird, man.
It was bad timing.
Yeah,
It's it. Yeah, terrible.
Oh boy, the kind of facts that we share with you, ladies and gentlemen, at this time of the morning. That was WTF. A couple of stories I want to look at this morning, including this one from Jody.
Yeah. Good morning, Bridge Nation. So this expressive entertainer, very big entertainer, Triple X slams dancehall DJs pushing the money pull-up era. I feel like somebody not get enough money pull up, On social media, the personality Triple X was on The Fix actually, and he was sharing his views about DJs who are encouraging the whole money pull up era, and he was saying that it's basically degrading the party culture in the Jamaican society. He emphasized that the focus of some music selector is centered more around who can get the most forward, or in this case, money pull up, instead of focusing more on the delivery of their product and catering to the patrons' wishes. Triple also further elaborated that on the issue by stating that most of the problem results because of greed and attention, citing that the selectors have thrown away their principles for a few moments of fame and, of course, dollars. He said that also that, what it does for artists as well, a man normally would get a forward or get his music playing at the street because he might have a little shilling in his pocket. He's able to push his song, which I don't see how that is a problem. Sorry, I don't see if you're not supporting me and I can get support by giving somebody a few dollars, I'm going to do it. I'm sorry, because you're not supporting me. But I have two sides to it. I understand where he's coming from, but me not see how money pull up is a problem, because everybody have to make $1. So
Or two.
exactly.
Sometimes the money pull up pile look big,
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Some man work fit.
He's
Like
basically
some man book fit.
Yeah.
well, Triple X is basically speaking to a broader issue, and believe me, I am with him 100% with it. In that aspect, you understand? Because you have a party with 3,000 people, right? And one individual, I mean, you start getting money pull up. You totally forget the other 2,900 people in the party.
But
and money pull up after a while, as a DJ, I can tell you, it get monotonous because you pull up the song 10 or 15 times, the same song.
But it's
People
normally
just,
patrons who are paying the money to, because I've seen really good selectors, like great selectors who get money pull up. Normally them not take the money, them probably give back, but them do the pull up because it's a vibe as well. So I think there's two sides to it.
It could be a financier also that is giving these folks the money to to bring forward.
Right.
No, understand, I don't have an
Part of a
issue.
marketing strategy.
Yes.
I don't have an issue, with the whole it builds a vibe and all of that. But there's two sides to the coin.
Right. But he went. I can't share everything that was said because I think it was a little bit harsh with what he was saying, because he's a selector also, and I think sometimes they are hypocritical, depending on who it is working for, who they might not like. This is why they make the statements that they make, hoping for a response from somebody that they not like, so that they can continue. So
that's a good point.
But that's his view on the whole money pull up era.
Okay.
Well, in our instance, we get money pull-ups here,
All the time.
but we usually refund it.
Money.
Yeah,
Back
because
to
by the time the tune done play, them have demand about their money.
Look at the timing.
Look at the time.
Look at
about the money.
Speak of the devil. Show down backyard and take it back
I'll
up.
take it.
Well, man, we get platinum to and give back.
But yeah. Well, here's somebody who
Arrive on cue.
see there. Well, here's somebody who know Triple X would have vexed when him say him get money pull up. There's somebody known as Drake,
Right.
legend, global artist, popcorn Bridget. You see? Well, there's somebody known as Fake Drake,
Yep.
local superstar, community, Sheldon's best friend. Now, Fake Drake, apparently shares his massive income per performance. Now, Fake Drake is banking big bucks for impersonating performances of course, as you can imagine, Drake. Now, in recent times, a viable way of earning money has become, to impersonate celebrities. We know a lot of Michael Jacksons, Elvis, the thing go. No, Drake is a part of that list. Yeah, so him a star still. Now, Fake Drake, whose real name is Izzy, I find that very funny because, Drizzy called himself Drizzy Drake.
Exactly.
So you have Izzy Drake. So, he started becoming, a viral sensation due to his resemblance to the OVO boss. I'm not gonna lie, him look like him still. Now, I guess you can call DJ Academics a cultural commentator, like him know everything hip hop and about the black community, and him always, a lot of people follow DJ Academics and look forward to his perspectives. So he went on to say that, look, this gentleman, Fake Drake, is actually doing a pretty good job, and he asked a very simple question: would y'all pay $5,000 US dollars for Fake Drake to perform at your little bro birthday party? Now, DJ Academics does this a lot. Him not really just because he gets a lot of insight from people in the the entertainment space. So he just likes to tease his followers like, hey, look, I got like an intel. Would you pay $5,000 for Fake Drake? So when the fans of Academics heard that, they're like, what? Them start running with it now, and get some people are saying like, no, this is ridiculous. Nobody that brother could even get $20 out. I'm like, how is he getting this? And some of them are saying that this is embarrassing. Going around, impersonating another artist. Like, nobody don't really know your brother. However, Fake Drake also went on to say that, listen, even sometimes feel like Drake a copy him. So, because
Start believe the hype.
because after Drake had a album known as Certified Lover Boy, and Drake did this thing with his hair, his hairline, the little hearts.
Yes.
Well, Fake Drake say, yo, listen, I've had the heart for like a year and a half, and he said way before Drake apparently, and he said, I have the heart because if you do things with your heart, it will come back. Okay, Fake Drake. So the real question is, Peeps, do you think that he should be making so much money just from being an impersonator? I think, making money.
That's what Las Vegas is for.
Make the money.
Anybody with dead,
I
you want to see them perform.
I'm not get tired of himself.
But coming to do it, sir, you're taking that thing too far.
I bet him soon come out and say I'm the original Drake.
Oh,
I see that coming.
oh,
That should be fun.
that's right.
So the story that I hinted at earlier, we're still trying to figure out exactly how to call the name. I can actually spell it, but I can't necessarily. I have a problem pronouncing it.
Yeah.
So this is a very famous band out of Russia. The first name is spelled Pussy, and the second is Riot.
Yes.
Right.
So I spelled one and I called the other.
Smart.
Now they Jody gave us an option.
Kitty Riot.
You could say Kitty Riot.
Meow Riot.
Shell's chipped in with Meow Riot. Call it what you will. This is a famous band out of Russia, and they became political activists and were always criticizing Vladimir Putin. They actually were to the point where they were arrested and spent 2 years and charged with all kinds of crimes they put against them, and they were in jail for 2 years.
Wow.
But they still kept speaking out. Upon release from prison, this lady, Miss Alokina, who is one of the members of the group, Kitty Riot, Maria is her first name. Yes. She actually started an online portal called Media Zona, where she was still pushing criticisms against Vladimir Putin. Okay. And it turned out that they pulled her back in, put her under house arrest, and that is how she managed to hammer out an escape. She escaped as a food courier, and with the help of an artist from Iceland, she secured her travel documents and went over into Lithuania.
Nice.
And now she's still speaking out. She says, I still don't understand completely what I've done. I don't think Russia has a right to exist anymore.
Ooh.
That is what she's saying. She says even before there were questions about how it is unified, but what values it is united, and where is it going? But now I don't think the question is anymore whether or not they should exist. They should not, she says. So Putin is not going to be pleased with this at all. And
but that's all like a movie.
Yeah, she actually said that. She actually said that in one of her comments. So we'll see how that pans out. She's a free woman now in Lithuania.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Go and fight the fight.
All right. What name again?
Kitty Riot.
Kitty Riot.
That's
Meow
right.
Riot. Meow Riot.
That's right. That's right. That was update.
Yeah.
And we now move into our proverb of the day, followed by our pet peeve.
That's right. Good morning, Bridge Nation. So I'll be reading the proverb of the day to you this morning. It says, man ate you, he give you basket for carry water. Man ate you, he give you basket for carry water.
I would beat a woman right now.
You know what?
Yo, I play devil's advocate, you know. You know, some never know so the container holy.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly, princess.
I thought I could do it.
Well, you're just like a hate man because
So
we give back.
It's a mistake.
It's a mistake.
No, it's no mistake.
I'm not a perfect man. Stay with me now, man.
And the meaning of this proverb, because I know in origination, the meaning is people who dislike you will give you difficult or impossible tasks. I never say a true statement.
Yo, so my issue with this proverb is why they never do say people hate you.
No.
Why have to say man no.
Man hate you. He
Equality.
give you basket for carry
rights.
water. When you say
And
woman,
just no, there's a people.
no, man.
Because the meaning says people.
No,
I could
man.
design a placard.
You know,
It's
That's
so
called
better when you
protest.
say man.
okay. See the bridge nation, this is so good.
You don't have to be working with NWC to be protesting these days.
See the
Yeah.
So that's the. I think we have all
Yeah.
experienced it. Well, for whoever been working for how long. I remember my first job.
Them try to set you up.
Man fire me call him did in a bad mood. I was 18 years old. Man come in a bad mood. I said, oh you, come out. Poor Jody, 18 years old, devastated. I was like, what? What? What is happening here?
For your sake, I hope the business is out of function right now.
You know, so I see him son the other day. I went to me, I was like, hey.
Look at me now.
Jody, what you say? If you could see.
Yo.
All right, that was the proverb of the day.
yeah.
Now, what you just described maybe was a pet peeve back then. But a more current version.
Damage that
Oh,
was.
I can imagine. I feel it for you, honestly. It's now time for the pet peeve of the morning, and
Yes.
I think that is recorded, right? One of
Yes,
our
it is.
one of our Bridge Nation
Yes.
listeners.
Have share their pet peeve.
Yeah.
And just in case you're joining us here on Up and Go for the first time, pet peeves are things that others do that you might find annoying, irritating, or even upsetting. And one of our listeners have one to share with us this morning.
One of the most annoying things is like when several people sit down and each one of them having a conversation at the same time. Yeah? No, that doesn't sound good. That's one of the most annoying things for me at this present. Okay?
I agree. Like,
You agree?
it would be like us because we actually give each other the opportunity to speak. But have you ever seen like a conversation being held and like everybody talk all at once and you're like, I'm
And this is not
confused.
like they're quarreling.
No, they're just talking all at once. So that's this.
No, I just love the context of the
Noisy.
voice note because as he's expressing his pet peeve, you just hear the song in the background. Don't worry about the things you can't control. Isn't it? You can't control
You
them.
can't control them.
That's how it go.
But it's true. That's a little bit. I don't think I'm annoyed. I'm more confused when this happens.
yeah.
But I'm not annoyed. It's like I can always walk away from the conversation.
Yeah, I don't know if I might ends alone to this, Richie, but you see when that go on, like too many people talk one time, you just say one voice.
Yes.
And everybody just starts. I say, okay.
Yeah.
Also one voice. Just say
Yeah.
one voice. Anyway, you go. Just say one
Yeah.
voice.
Young people see.
Yeah, Richie then was excuse me.
Yes.
Pardon
Or
me.
One at a time, please. Them not shout out one voice.
More of that, I promise you. Okay, so I think I recognize the person who sent that that pet peeve in.
Yeah.
That was
And,
Boise.
oh, it was Boise.
Boise.
Yeah.
Boise.
So,
Big up yourself.
him don't like when it's too nice and noisy.
No.
One voice.
One
One
voice.
voice.
Pet peeves are things that others do that you may find annoying, irritating, or even upsetting. Today's pet peeve came to us from Boise. So yesterday morning, over 2,000 workers at the National Water Commission, the NWC, went on strike over an outstanding reclassification exercise, as well as the ongoing public sector compensation review. A number of comments have been put forward as to why this would have happened. One person described it as a total lockdown across the island, as staff from most levels, including management, were demonstrating or just simply not turning up for work. So we wanted to get to the bottom of this because many of us suffered the inconvenience of having no water in our pipes yesterday. We saw where Minister Carl Samuda was assuring the country up to late yesterday evening that water would again be flowing in the pipes. But even since we started here 6 o'clock this morning, we've been getting messages from listeners saying, hey, we still have no water. But let's get to the meat of the matter with our very special guest at this time. She's the Vice President of the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions and also the General Secretary of the Jamaica Association of Local Government Officers, JALGO. We welcome Helen Davis Whyte to Up and Go. Good morning, Mrs. Davis Whyte. How are you
Hello,
today?
good morning.
Morning, Richie. How am I today?
Yes.
A little depressed that we weren't able to arrive at a resolution last night. But hopeful that when we resume this morning, we can get to that point of resolving the dispute, because I think the workers all want to be able to return to their jobs to do the kind of human job that they have been doing over the years.
So you are confirming that the unions would have met with, I suspect, the Ministry of Finance up to late last night?
Yes, we left the Ministry of Finance about 11 last night. At that point, based on where the discussions were, we seemed to be hitting our heads against a wall, and so we felt that, if we came back in the morning, likely we would be able to, arrive at some agreement and that would allow the workers to go back to work. The truth is that we had actually at one point thought that we would be able to come to an agreement. We actually had a draft heads of agreement agreed, and it was just at the point where we were to go ahead and sign. But then through the intervention of the financial secretary, she disagreed with important aspects of what was in that draft heads of agreement. And so we were basically at 10 in the night looking to start over again because we had, done a lot of the work and the consultations. And, certainly as unions, we would have changed our position, as is usually the case when you get to the Ministry of Labor, because you have to go there prepared to make compromises, etc. We felt we had done that, and we had come up with a heads of agreement that the parties at the table felt, could be agreed on. However, as I said, with the intervention of the financial secretary, all of that went out the window.
Wow.
And we are almost starting over
Yeah,
again.
it sounds like you're almost back at square one. It took a lot of persons by surprise. I mean, I started getting information from the night before that there's some possible action that might be taken. But I get the feeling that many persons out there in the public were not aware that this was happening and there was these outstanding matters. We hear about an outstanding reclassification exercise. We also hear about a public sector compensation review that is causing the workers to be restive. Can you shed some more light on those issues?
All right, just to give you a little bit of the history. There is a heads of agreement in place between the management of the commission and the unions that a reclassification exercise is to be conducted. I think this heads of agreement goes back to 2006 thereabouts. However, the financial crisis intervened, and the Ministry of Finance put a hold on all reclassification exercises. But the unions did, in fact, get the ministry to agree that the exercises would be conducted. So it was really just about putting a hold on them during the period of the financial crisis, which was about 2008. So having had that agreement for the exercise to be conducted, but the hold being placed on it, the NWC then decided that it wanted to restructure its operations. And again, the unions agreed that the reclassification exercise would await the outcome of this restructuring exercise, bearing in mind that if you're going to be changing jobs in an organization, it really doesn't make sense you doing work on old jobs, which coming out of the restructuring exercise may not exist or may change in character. And so we agreed that we would await the outcome of the restructuring exercise. As it turns out, that exercise took 10 years to be complete. And actually, it was only complete after we insisted that the NWC needed to have professionals brought into the picture who understand how to structure organizations and so on. And so a consultant was actually hired that assisted the management of the commission, and at that point, including the union, to arrive at a new structure. So having done that, that was sent to the Ministry of Finance in 2019 because the procedure that exists with public bodies is that anything in relation to structure and classification and pay has to be approved by the Ministry of Finance. So it was sent there.
Yes.
The next thing is that after that, we are expecting that the approval would be given for the structure so that we could move to the reclassification, at which point the Ministry of Finance indicated that it was not going to approve of the hiring of a consultant to do the reclassification. They instead purported to do the reclassification by the compensation the what they call CMED, a unit of the Ministry of Finance, Corporate Management Division. They purported to do the reclassification exercise themselves, bearing in mind that there was no agreement that they should do the exercise. The agreement was that an independent consultant would be hired to do the exercise. So we had problems.
You had a problem with that as well.
Once they conveyed that information. And since that time, we have been trying to get them to honor the agreement that was arrived at several years ago. And that has been the problem. Workers have been waiting because once they knew that the structure was settled, of course, the demand now is do the reclassification. Then came the agreement about compensation review,
yes,
which was in place for the entire public sector, including public bodies. And so, for us, what would be important in looking at that exercise is to know how they were going to be scoring jobs and valuing jobs, and therefore where in that structure NWC jobs would likely fall in that new compensation structure. All attempts by the unions to have that process finalized and for us to move ahead have failed. In that period, certainly from 2019 until now, the feeling of discontent has been growing amongst the staff. We have said to the operatives at the Ministry of Finance, the workers are becoming extremely restive. We need to bring this issue to finality. Eventually, we got a meeting in December of last year, and coming out of that meeting, we agreed that, we would, once we received the work done by the Ministry of Finance, we would seek to validate, and if we can validate the work, then we would give the go-ahead for the work to be done to determine where in this new compensation structure NWC jobs would likely fall. Suffice it to say that that information never came up until now. We have no idea as to the work of the Ministry of Finance. Not to say that we will necessarily accept it, but we are saying that we need to at least review it to validate it if we are going to be moving forward. That was the agreement in December. What is the problem is now, having built up this kind of restiveness amongst the staff.
Yes.
And them having decided to act because they believe that, action is what needs to be taken. No, they have waited long enough. They have been as patient as they can be. And in that context, therefore, they need to act. Remember, I'm saying to you, we have been saying to the operatives in the Ministry of Finance, we are going to have difficulties to control what the workers do, because the feeling of lack of respect and distrust and all these other things are building among them, and it is going to boil over at some point.
Yes?
And so, having gone to the Ministry of Labor last night, we really thought that the ministry would come to the table willing to pull out all stops to have a resumption formula in place that would allow the workers to go back to work. Unfortunately, we had all of the work overturned at 10 o'clock last night when we thought we had come to the point of an agreement.
Mrs. Davis-Whyte, I really want to thank you for clearly outlining the issues, because I, for one, and I'm sure many of us were not aware of the depth of the problems. We just woke up and heard that there's going to be strike and that no water. You know what I mean? So thank you for putting that. Yes?
And I think what needs to be clear is that the workers of the commission do not, and this is really a last resort for them. They have endured for 14, 16 years. And so I think the people of Jamaica need to understand that. So it is something that they have borne and that we have tried to resolve over all these years, and is really a last resort. That and none of the workers take pleasure in doing what they have actually had to do, and they want to go back to work.
I think Shells has a question for you. As a
Yeah,
matter of
man,
fact.
definitely. Mrs. Davis White, I can't help but wonder, right? What if there isn't an agreement? What if the parties involved don't reach an agreement? What should we, the consumers, expect going forward?
I don't even want to think that we cannot arrive at an agreement. I don't think the issue is such that we cannot arrive at an agreement, because if the powers that be recognize and understand the importance of the delivery of water, they will move from their intransigence into a position of wanting to come to an agreement. It does not appear that they understand where the workers are at this point in time, and that is why we are where we are this morning.
Okay.
Of the 2,000 plus workers that shall we say, are on strike, is it likely that some might be turning back up for work this morning? And if not, what percentage of the consumers might very well be without water? Because there are some reports of persons who have received water in their pipes, but many others are saying they still haven't. Can you shed some light there?
Having completed the discussion so late last night, what we conveyed to them is that we have no agreement in place. And, how these things generally work is that you try to hammer out an agreement at the Ministry of Labour so that it allows persons to go back to work. So you have to have a back to work formula. That was not achieved last night. We expect that the action will continue, but as we indicated, we are resuming the discussions this morning, and we are hopeful that we can actually get a meeting of the minds. So I don't think it is beyond us to do that. We just have to be going into these discussions with an open mind and the willingness to compromise. As unions, we feel that we have compromised. In fact, some of our workers believe that we may have compromised too much. But we have gotten to that point where we have moved on the needle. But the Ministry of Finance adopts this kind of intransigence. And I will tell you, even with regard to the issue of the compensation review for the general public sector, most persons who have been to meetings come away with that kind of dictatorial way of the Ministry of Finance personnel who are involved in these discussions. So the truth is, the Ministry of Finance has to recognize that the process of industrial relations in the public sector and even the collective bargaining that the International Labour Organization Convention speaks to is about both parties coming to the table, willing to compromise so that we are able to come away with agreement.
As consumers,
if that's not done, then we are going to have
problems. Yeah. As consumers, we're hoping that good sense will prevail at all levels in these discussions, and we're hopeful, and we are indeed praying that an agreement will be arrived at. Thank you so much, Helen Davis White, and you have a wonderful day. Good luck.
Thank you.
Our pleasure. Helen Davis White, Vice President of the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions and the General Secretary of the Jamaica Association of Local Government Officers, JALGO, speaking to us about the issue of the NWC strike, which, from all indications, is still on. And might be affecting us throughout the day. If you have some water in your pipes, you might want to catch up, fill up some containers.
No waste no time.
Yeah, because the meeting up to late last night did not arrive at. They did not arrive at an agreement, or a solution was not arrived at. Yep. All right. Time for us to get some calls and see whether or not we can find a winner on our secret sound game. The sound that you must identify is the sound that you'll hear right now.
Alright, to hear that, son, let me remind you guys of the clues. We have 3 of them. So this sound has something to do with the moon, the stars, and the sound. We have a call on the line right now. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the Secret Sound game.
Good morning.
Morning. This sound first song for me. Miss Confidential, this?
Yes, it is.
Hi, what going?
Morning, Miss Confidential. How are you doing?
Good morning, Richie.
Hi.
Good morning, Chels. And I hope I'll be correct today.
Fingers
I'm
crossed.
calling a while.
Alright. So what
Good
you
luck.
have for
Good
us?
luck.
Okay, is it NASA recorded sound of the sun?
NASA's recording of the sun?
Yes, the sun wave.
Oh. Yo. Hey, you know, say I have JoJo over there stressed out now, Miss Confidential, and she has sent me something right now. Oh, is that text you has sent me JoJo over the answer? Alright.
Everybody have to know.
Yes, hold on them. So she's saying, Miss Confidential. Quack, quack, quack.
Everybody find out.
Okay.
It's not even
Good try.
confidential anymore.
Oh, no.
Sorry, miss. 7:34. So sorry.
Yeah.
7:34 is the time. We take another call. 876-676-4996. Can you identify this or secret sound? Something to do with the moon. Something to do with the stars. This sound. What is it? Good morning, caller. Welcome to the Secret Sound game here on the bridge. How are you?
Good morning.
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 I'm calling for the first time.
Oh,
All right.
wonderful to have you. What's your
Nice.
name?
I'm Pauline.
Hi, Pauline.
Wonderful to hear you, Paul. Are you in Kingston?
No, I am in Kingston, but actually I'm from Portland.
Oh, you are.
Okay.
And you know you're talking here with me,
Okay.
a Portlander, myself.
Okay.
Nice to have you. Nice to have you, Pauline. All right.
Thank you.
What is the answer that you have for us this morning, Miss Portlander?
I think the answer is water boiling in the kettle, in the electric kettle.
Oh! You said water boiling in an electric kettle?
Yes.
That's Pauline for you. That is Pauline for you.
Hey.
Listeners, Bridge Nation, she would have given some thought to this.
Yes. Well, Miss Pauline, unless you kettle there in a space. Man, for that one, you know. Quack, quack, quack.
Sorry, Pauline. I wanted to be really, really nice to you, being a Portlander myself. But, just like how Shells is when he hears somebody from
Oh, boy,
Portmore.
yeah, it makes sense.
Or oddly when you hear somebody from Ligony.
Kingston.
In the mix. But man, oh man. Give me that sound again.
It's rough.
Many people don't know that, me, and you don't know the answer.
No.
We're after waiting on a signal. What sound is this? Well, not ready for another clue yet. I think we're gonna make these clues. Yeah.
That's it? You know, no more
Yeah,
clues, JoJo. No more.
Not yet. More clues for Friday. We understand.
Oh, Friday. Okay.
There you have it for. Now that's gonna be a lot. We might have to retire that Sonia.
Hey, tired of people are cussing me off now.
Oh boy, they're approaching the streets as well.
Yes.
Like, that's the same thing I have.
The DMs too.
What?
It's serious. And I go DM the bridge on Instagram. When I find me from, I don't know it. I find JoJo.
We honestly don't know, listeners. Bridge Nation, we have to be looking across the glass for an indication
Yeah.
when you give us your answers. All right?
Yeah, man.
That
We're
was
guessing
Huh?
We are guessing too.
We
Yeah,
are
man.
guessing.
Dumpy on the moon still on the
Try to
table,
work
though.
through the issues. You know how many times I hear an answer and I go, well, you know, some of that think something like that too.
Yeah.
Wrong. Crank.
Quack, quack, quack.
You don't have it's true.
You don't know. Well, if them only know, say we are get some quack quack over here.
A couple of times, well, me hug up the quack and quietly just hold it. So that me did that thing to brother. So you're not alone. I empathize with all of you.
For real.
But we'd love to make you a winner soon, all right? Because remember, the gift packages is big enough to serve a family of 6.
Yeah.
And if you want to share it with your community, you can have enough to do that as well.
Easily.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we've told you, called her name several times. Now we'll get a chance to meet her. She's a singer, songwriter. She hails from Kingston, and she moved to America when she was just 13 years old. But it's interesting. She's from a musical background because I've been made to understand that she has some of her siblings who are also involved in music. One is a music teacher, another a producer, and two others that are themselves recording artists, I suspect. She has attained a lot of success overseas, attended Oral Roberts University. She majored in mass communications with a minor in music, and then she also went on to do her master's degree in business, music business from the University of Miami, UM. She's our guest at this time, and we're pleased to welcome her. Good morning and welcome, Christine Alicia. Good morning.
Good morning, Richie B. How
Hi.
you doing, everybody?
Hey,
How you doing? I see that bright smile.
It's bright and early, so I have a bright smile for you guys.
Oh, that's so nice to hear, Christine. Now,
Thanks for having me.
I want to congratulate you. You've done well studying, and now we understand that you're also doing quite well musically. Give us a brief history of your journey in the music business, in the reggae music business.
Yeah, well, when I started in college as a background singer. I actually started doing backgrounds for Papa San and Nigel Lewis, who were doing gospel music. So I actually entered the music scene first as a gospel background singer. Then I did my first gospel album under Nigel Lewis.
Oh.
And then from then I, did a couple more singles. And then after a couple more singles, I realized that I wanted my message to expand a little more further. And as I call it, alignment has it. I was in Florida and connected with a few people who were connected to Rory. Mm-hmm. And I came out to Jamaica on a summer break, doing a photo shoot. I met Rory. Rory heard one of my songs and he's like, let's produce an album. And then so my next album was produced by Rory. It's called Songs from Zion. And from then, I really felt like I started to get my message of what I believe in right now and what I stand true on right now throughout the world. And then since that, I've been doing different singles with different producers. Mm-hmm. So I feel blessed.
You have to be. And before you come in, Shells, I have to ask this because Rory, is our colleague here as well, right?
Yeah. I'm sure.
And he can get up to a lot of mischief when he's ready on the air.
Yep.
I know.
So I want to ask you, Christine, is he as mischievous when you're in the studio working out with recording songs?
Let me tell you, when we were in the studio, it was like, first he was my friend one day and my enemy one day. But I realized that Rory was pushing me. I realized that he saw pure talent, but he also wanted to make sure that his brand was protected as well. And I think he saw something that needed to be matured and needed to be like nurtured is a better word. And so he would push me in the studio, cuss me off sometime. But at the end of the day, I always knew it was love. And we came up with a project that we both were proud of. It actually, when it came out, it debuted, I believe, number 12 on the Billboard reggae charts and number 8 on the iTunes reggae chart.
Awesome.
So we were proud. And I feel if you talk to him now, he'll be like, yeah, Christina, listen, we did our thing. So
nice.
Yeah,
cool.
Feel
Awesome.
good.
All right, blessings, Christine. No, I don't know. I feel like I have a strong feeling like, when it comes to delivering your message through your music, through your sound, you don't want to be put in a box. Am I right?
You are right. Well, how you know that?
I can just tell. It's just an energy thing, honestly. So what I want to know is why is that the case? Why is that the case? Why nobody can put you in one box?
Experience and life always teaches you, gives you what your message is, right? So I believe that there's a reason why I was born in Jamaica. There's a reason why I moved to Florida. There's a reason why I went to Oklahoma. There's a reason why I'm now in Texas. My life had to experience different different experiences so that I could have a different perspective on life and not just one perspective.
Right.
And because of that, I think I represent different kinds of people and different messages, right? I feel like humanity always tries to put people in boxes, and I feel blessed that reggae, even though I'm a reggae artist and reggae hails from Jamaica, I believe reggae also shows that we are unified all around the world. Mm-hmm. And so the message of reggae music is positive, and upliftment, and I don't have to be labeled as this one type of singer to deliver that strong message of reggae, and I can still stay true to reggae with the different different projections of what I want to say.
Yeah.
And then, like,
Respect.
We know that education obviously plays a significant role in your life. What advice, Christine, would you have for other artists who very often, they put their schooling on the back burner just to simply focus on their music? What would you say to such an individual listening right now?
that takes a lot of faith, and I said to each his own. For me, I personally am grateful for my father who taught me classical music, but at the end of the day, to me, I also went to school for music so I could teach music. So to have that background, I'm able to still make a living and teach music and then go in a recording studio when I want to, right? And not feel like I have to choose between music. So right now I teach music to students. I'm happy to do so privately and in a school. And I'm able to do it for the love of music without feeling like I have to sacrifice so much and put music at the back burner just because, So the education of it is great because when you want to pass on the music to others, you have a foundation to pass it on to and foundation to pass out from.
Yeah, man, enough respect. So songs from Zion, your reggae album, your next reggae album. That's the recent project. That's the project. That's the recent.
Well,
project,
that was released in 2 years ago with Rory, right?
Okay.
But I've released singles since then. But yeah, I'll call that my big project, my latest big project.
Okay, so tell us more about your recent projects. What can we expect, from Christine?
Well, I've released a single in February called "Hold Strong," and I feel like that is really, really doing very well. A lot of people love it. And then before that, I released a song called "Black Diamond" and "Eternity." And those, I believe, came from a place where I truly had to learn had my own experience of pushing through the hardest times of my life. A lot of people, that was a time when it was a pandemic and they had like a lot of people dying. And I don't want to go in too much into it, but I know that song was given to me by the Most High. Respect. So that I could give my audience a time and an encouragement to wake up in the morning and listen to the song and say, hold strong. And you are Black Diamond and you can make it. And because I believe I listened to that, and I released what was inside of me, it was able to resonate with the rest of the collective, which is what I think each person in this world is to do. Like when we listen to what is inside of us and we release the gift inside of us, it can do nothing else but resonate with the rest of the world because we are all connected in that way.
Yeah, powerful. We have two songs from your catalog that we can play.
Which one?
I can play Zion this morning and I can play Eternity. So I'm going to say you choose.
I want to play Hold Strong. Either Zion or Hold Strong. You have Hold Strong?
No, not at our disposal immediately.
Hold Strong. Okay, all right. Play Zion, I guess. Since that's Rory's song.
Okay. And we'll get to Hold Strong in a short while, all right? I think it's going to be uploaded momentarily. Before you go, though, it has been really, really wonderful talking with you, Christina Alicia. Are those your real names?
Yes, I was born Christina Alicia McCall.
Ah, gotcha. Christina Alicia. And what's your social media? What are your social media handles?
On Instagram, Christine Alicia Music, and Christine is with a K, just so you don't get confused. Oh, you have it right there. Christina Alicia Music. Facebook is Christina Alicia. Twitter is Christina Alicia. My website is christinealicia.com. Easy. All
right. Great talking with you. Good luck with your music and everything that you touch in this life. May it be continue to be positive and impactful. Thank you so much. Great talking with you. I see him on my screens. He has been rocking the NYC and the tri-state area all morning long, we have been doing Jamaica right here.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he has up his sleeves, but we'll find out momentarily as we say, good morning, DJ Roy.
Blessings, DJ Roy.
Morning, gentlemen. How are you?
We're doing well. We're good, man. We're good. How about you, bros?
I'm going to give you fair warning, Richie B, Shells, and Audley.
Really?
Whenever you play Affairs of the Heart, lock the studio doors in Jamaica.
Yep.
You should have told me before.
Do a kickoff.
Let me give you fair warning.
Yeah. We just discovered some high jumpers around here. Olympic standard.
That was the actual song that Bobby Clark proposed to Cynthia Shea Clark inside the Barclays Center. When Junior Gong started the song, Bobby walked out on stage and thousands of people was like, what, the show done? Bobby proceeded to go on his knees. I said, Jesus Christ, I'm about to show you, I don't know.
What is happening?
Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Memories, man.
so let me tell you, she burst into the studio
Yeah.
and she
And
was jumping when we were playing that song, I tell you.
And rightfully so.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Big ups, Bobby,
man.
and good morning again to Sin. Of course, this is all courtesy of our Global Connection this morning. It's courtesy of our sponsors, QMax Wealth Management. They have over $20 billion in managed investments. QMax has been providing Jamaicans in the know with wise and profitable information since 2005. They're licensed by the Financial Services Commission, and they're a member of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. You can, in fact, call them.
That's right. That's 876-926-7767 for more information. That's QMax Wealth, CUMAX, QMax Wealth Management, making more possible.
All right. There are a lot of times when our friends in New York City will say, boy, Richie, there's a snow going on here. Can you send us some sunshine? This time we're turning it around and we're saying to our friends in New York City, can you send us some water?
Please, talks.
NWC staffers are still on strike, and a lot of our listeners out there are having problems. We just carried a story of a train service that takes students in St. Catherine, places like Old Harbor and Spanish Town. It just returned to Old Harbor, and every student that went out for school have returned home because there's no water at the schools. So begging us some water, New York.
Wow.
Yeah, man. No pressure on them. With us now, no pressure out, yeah.
The land of wood and water.
Yeah,
water shortages.
Can
Land
you
of wood
imagine?
and water shortages, sir. Water shortages. Thank you.
Yeah, there are some long-standing issues between the
Yeah, man,
NWC
serious.
staff and the Ministry of Finance. They had a late-night meeting with a union last night, and there was no agreement that was struck. They're going back at it this morning. We're hoping and praying for some good results.
Yeah.
We'll follow that story, definitely.
sir.
Yeah.
So, we want to thank, of course, all the peeps that appeared on the program today.
That's right. So we want to say thank you to Helen Whyte, Vice President of the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions and the General Secretary of the Jamaica Association of Local Government Officers, who stopped by to let us know what's happening with the NWC workers. Everything is not sorted out as yet, people. We're still without water. Schools are closing because they don't have any water. And Dennis just sent me a called me to say that Mariska Road, where NWC is, he's like, it's a Christmas party there. The workers are there, but they're not working, playing dominoes, playing music, and just easy. So I'm imploring everybody to catch up your water.
I hope that the meeting with the union and the ministry is far advanced and that they're making progress.
Right,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, we
need water, man.
affected,
Water
and
is life.
small businesses need this, especially food shops and so on. So
That's right.
I wonder
need the
I wonder
water.
if they themselves got water in their pipes before they left out. The NWC workers.
And that may say, maybe I think this is planned. So I think that they're good.
You think so?
I have this feeling that they're fine in regards to water at their homes. Thank you to Christina Alicia, reggae recording artist. Interesting
Enough
story
respect.
for her. Big ups
Yeah.
for passing through.
Brilliant girl.
Yes, you're a bright girl too, right? At 8:30 we had our News 360. Big ups to the news team here on the Bridge 99 FM. And big up to DJ Roy and Ira Jam Radio in our Global Connection. It was fun.
Yep.
Enjoyed it.
We don't have a lot of time. I want to thank you. No winner this morning in the Secret Sound game.
No.
We'll try again for tomorrow morning. But right now, what do people them want? Water!